Yo everybody, so I'm live again. Today is the 23rd of February. Uh, I was actually meaning to stream yesterday too, but I felt so tired and as usual I don't really sleep enough in the nights, so I just don't feel, even though I don't feel great, but I just have to continue this project if I want to get anywhere, I guess. So yeah, of course you can find this book on gutenberg.org, and I just copy pasted it into my Word document. If you want to learn about me, my quest for meaning.com. Oh yeah, and I also just actually there's in the Nietzsche subreddit actually I wrote a very lengthy answer to this post, because this person is asking he's asking about Nietzsche and morality. What determines whether someone should engage in kind or hostile behavior directed at other peoples? And I spent a lot of time. This is me. I wrote like a long post, basically just filling it with quotes from the Spake Zarathustra. And of course, I think Nietzsche and morality, it's all about the Superman. It's all about acting, because most people aren't Superman-like, which I write here, but we can still sort of act in a way so to facilitate the Superman in others, basically. And there's like so many layers. There's so many layers and so many like things you can say about it. It's about overcoming, surpassing man, and I think Nietzsche and morality can basically be summed up in this way. So I spent a lot of time writing this long. You can just paste from different sections, from different discourses. Man is something that has to be surpassed, and therefore shalt thou loathe thy virtues, for thou wilt succumb by them. And I haven't really gotten any upvotes yet, so maybe I wrote too much, or people don't really read it. I don't know. I sort of feel like when I just put a lot out there and there's nobody reacting to it, it's like, am I on the wrong path there? Did I misunderstand something, or is it just like nobody cares, or is that the issue? I don't know. So yeah, I think yesterday I wrote another post on the subreddit which got some upvotes at least. It was a much shorter post though. So yeah, remember to subscribe to my channel, it just helps me, Yeah. So yeah, I'll get into reading. So I have here the book, and I have here my quotes from last time. Last time we read Old and Young Women. And now we will read The Bite of the Adder, number 19, isn't that it? These Roman numbers, I think that is 19. And don't have too many left until we get to the second part. Maybe I can finish it today, the first part, we will see. Okay, The Bite of the Adder. One day had Zarathustra fallen asleep under a fig tree, owing to the heat, with his arms over his face, and there came an adder and bit him in the neck, so that Zarathustra screamed with pain. When he had taken his arm from his face, he looked at the serpent, and then did it recognize the eyes of Zarathustra, wriggled awkwardly, and tried to get away, Not at all, said Zarathustra. As yet hast thou not received my thanks. Thou hast awakened me in time. My journey is yet long. Thy journey is short, said the adder sadly. My poison is fatal. Zarathustra smiled. When did ever a dragon die of a serpent's poison? Said he. But take thy poison back, thou art not rich enough to present it to me. Then fell the adder again on his neck, and licked his wound. When Zarathustra once told this to his disciple, they asked him, And what, O Zarathustra, is the moral of thy story? And Zarathustra answered them thus. The destroyer of morality, the good and the just call me. My story is immoral. When, however, ye have an enemy, then return him not good for evil, for that would abash him. But prove that he hath done something good to you. And rather be angry than abash anyone. And when ye are cursed, it pleaseth me not that ye should then desire to bless, rather curse I belittle also. And should a great injustice befall you, then do quickly 5 small ones besides. Hideous to behold is he on whom injustice presseth alone. Did ye ever know this? Shared injustice is half justice, and he who can bear it shall take the injustice upon himself. A small revenge is humaner than no revenge at all, and if the punishments be not also a right and an honor to the transgressor, I do not like her punishing. Nobler is it to own oneself in the wrong than to establish one's right, especially if one be in the right. Only one must be rich enough to do so. I do not like your cold justice. Out of the eye of your judges there always glanceth the executioner and his cold steel. Tell me, where find we justice, which is love with seeing eyes? Devise me, then, the love which not only beareth all punishment, but also all guilt. Devise me, then, the justice which acquitteth everyone except the judge. And would ye hear this likewise? To him who seeketh to be just from the heart, even the lie becometh philanthropy. But how could I be just from the heart? How can I give everyone his own? Let this be enough for me. I give unto everyone mine own. Finally, my brethren, guard against doing wrong to any anchorite. How could an anchorite forget? How could he requite? Like a deep well is an anchorite. Easy is it to throw in a stone. If it should sink to the bottom, however, tell me, how will bring it out again? Who will bring it out again? Guard against injuring the anchorite. If ye have done so, however, well then, kill him also. Thus spake Zarathustra. Okay, so the meaning of this. The bite of the adder. So he gets bit by this adder, and adder is like a snake, serpent. And he says, so the serpent bites him, and then he sees Zarathustra seeing him, and then he tries to get away. But Zarathustra says, Not at all. As yet thou hast not received my thanks. Thou hast awakened me in time, my journey is yet long. And so like, it's symbolism, but it's like, what is the metaphor here? What does that mean? Why does he want to say thank you to a serpent that bites him? And it's like, I think it basically just means that anyone who's on a mission, if he gets to a sleep, he needs to be waked up so he can continue his mission. And even if he gets like a punch in the face or anything like bad happened to him, it's still a good thing because it wakes him up. So that's probably why he says thank you. And the other says, Thy journey is short, my poison is fatal. And Zarathustra just smiles and he says, "When did ever a dragon die of a serpent's poison?" Meaning that, this small Zarathustra is the metaphor for Zarathustra is that he has like a grand spirit, So only like grand things can eventually kill him. And he says, but take thy poison back, thou art not rich enough to present it to me. And that is interesting. And I don't really know what it means. Like, why? Yeah, I don't. But here they ask, like, what is the moral of the story? The destroyer of morality, the Krishna has called me, my story is immoral. When, however, you have an enemy, then return him not good for evil, for that would bash him, but prove that he hath done something good for you to you. I am lying on it, yes. So this serpent, it wakes him up from his sleep, and because Zarathustra has a long way to go, that is good enough, I guess. I mean, and for that would I bash him, and I think a bash just means to embarrass, right? Bash definition. Yeah, make someone feel embarrassed, disconcerted, or ashamed. Yeah. So Nietzsche, he has this different view of. I think I've said before, like we should in some sense respect our enemies, and it's like, yeah, there's a previous quote where it says, the enemies of your, well, the victories of your enemies are in some sense your victories, because it sort of heighten their status, maybe, so they become like more important, and thus because they are your enemy, then just by proximity, then you become more important. So I think this is an interesting quote. Maybe also this is an interesting quote too. The destroyer of morality, the good and the just call me, my story is immoral. His story is immoral. I'd rather be angry than bash anyone. And then, when they are cursed, it pleases me not that they should then desire to bless, rather curse I did also. So this is at odds with the Christian morality, because the Christian morality says that you should turn the other cheeks, like, you're slapped, then you should just let yourself be slapped from the other side as well. So it's basically like saying, I mean, it's a very sort of pacifist. It sort of presupposes that the person who slaps you in some sense share your morality, and if when he sees you turn the other cheek, then he's supposed to like realize that he has done the wrong thing or something. But Nietzsche is no pacifist. He says, and when ye are cursed, it pleased me not that then you should then desire to bless, rather curse a little also. And should a great injustice befall, then the quickly small 5 ones besides, hideous to behold, is he on whom injustice presseth alone. So I do sort of feel these ones. Did you ever know this? Shared injustice is half justice. And he who can bear it shall take the injustice upon himself. So this is very Jordan Peterson. He says, take your suffering and bear it. And bear it. And he almost cries, because... And I sort of feel like, in some sense, it is a noble sentiment. But I don't know, I sort of feel like a bit sort of cucked, it's like, just bear your suffering, no matter what, But Nietzsche also says, and he who can bear it shall take the injustice upon himself. And it's like every sort of philosophy that has this sentiment built into it, it will make people self-sacrificial, which is extremely important for the survival of the religion or the philosophy, I think. Because in some sense we are innately selfish, so it's sort of human nature to try to slink away from punishment or maybe even responsibility. But if you make it noble to go the opposite direction, then it obviously it helps out a great deal for everyone else. Jesus hanging on the cross, he sort of, in some sense, died for our sins. There's definitely something to that, But Nietzsche differs from the Christian morality because, this is different. Did they know that shared injustice is half justice? Yeah, I can definitely imagine that if I'm ever in a position where I'm brought to suffer for something in an unjust manner, and if I have a good friend by my side who also has to suffer the same, does that work? I don't know. I sort of feel like I get it, but I sort of don't. I'm not totally sure that I do get it anyway. A small revenge is human and no revenge at all, and if the punishment be not also a right and an honor to the transgressor, I do not like your punishing. I think all these are very interesting. I will quote all of these actually, because then we maybe have too many quotes from this section, but there's so So Nietzsche is all about what is human. A smaller revenge is humaner than no revenge at all. So Christianity would profess that you should be sort of over the desire for revenge, but that is kind of inhuman. So Nietzsche says that you should actually go for a little bit of revenge at least. And if the punishment be not also a right and an honor to the transgressor, I do not like your punishing. That is interesting. You punish someone, but at the same time you sort of have to punish them in an honorable way. So based on their transgressions, you have to. It's an interesting concept, and I think it sounds really true. I don't know if I can speak more about it, like explain it. And this is also interesting. Nobler is it to own oneself in the wrong than to establish one's right, especially if one be in the right. Only one must be rich enough to do so. I have to quote this too. Yeah, Nietzsche is so smart. And this is contrary to what everyone on social media acts like, and in almost anyone anywhere, basically. Everyone tries to establish the right, They try to put forward the arguments, and if they can't do that, then they try to maybe undermine the other persons, or they try to just go for some ad hominem attacks on the other person, anything like that. And Nietzsche says we should own ourselves in the wrong, especially if one be in the right. It's like, what? Why? It sort of feels like a very sort of cool sentiment. As only one must be rich enough to do so, yeah, for sure. Few are rich enough to do so, and when they say rich enough to do so, it means like rich enough in like spirituality or something. If you can tolerate being ridiculed, in an area where you're for example supposed to know very much about, if you can tolerate that, then surely you are very rich in your sort of spirituality or your tolerance, something like that. And on social media, I mean, I use this example because that's sort of where most people interact these days. You have Facebook and you have YouTube and you have Reddit and you have all these platforms, and everyone arguing all the time, and everyone are trying to establish their own right. Nobody. I don't think I've ever seen nobody try to own themselves in the wrong. Well, maybe I have, but especially not if they're in the right. So you have this sort of richness of spirituality, which nobody sort of talks like this anymore. This sort of thinking it doesn't exist. I'm not sure if it existed. It was like more typical to have these kinds of thoughts in the 19th century, and it's just that lately that everyone are so pity, you can say, or petty, you know. But it is a very interesting sentiment. I do not like your cold justice. After the eye of your judges, they always glance at the executioner and his cold steel. Yeah, your cold justice is like when you're not that invested in something, but you like you still try to wrap your head around it, or sort of talk about it. Maybe if you try to sort of summarize it, or just try to be an arbiter from the outside. Is that what it means, though? Or to the eye of your judges, they always glance at the executioner and his cold steel. I sort of feel like I understand him here. Yeah. It's like when you're on the outside, looking in on someone, maybe you're smarter than them, or whatever. It's like the way in which you look at them and the way in which you talk to them is like you might as well feel like you're levels above them, and that you could just execute them in some sense, you know. Tell me, where from the justice is slow with seeing eyes? Devise me then the law which not only berate all punishment, but also all guilt. Beareth all punishment, but also all guilt. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. I just sort of had this brain freeze. I think just because I am streaming, it's so annoying. Devise me then the law which not only beareth all punishment, but also all guilt. Yeah, like if you're gonna be an executioner or a judge, then are you rich enough to like it's saying like, are you super principled? Because when you're just a judge on the outside, it's like it's very easy to execute someone, you know. So this is like the ultimate test. Devise me then the justice which acquitted everyone except the judge. Yeah. And would ye hear this likewise to him who seeketh to be just from the heart? Even the lie becometh philanthropy. Okay. But how can I be just from the heart? How can I give everyone his word? Let this be enough for me. I give to everyone mine own. Okay, so it's sort of taking a very neutral position. Yeah. Yeah, how can a person be just in other people's affairs? How can I give everyone his own? How can you prescribe the correct judgment on anyone? It says that's a question which, you know, you can't really answer. Let this be enough for me. I give unto everyone mine own. You can only sort of just use yourself and an example. Yeah, it's a. I think I understand it. It's a good quote. Finally, my brethren, guard against doing wrong to any anchorite. How could an anchorite forget? How can he requite? Like a deep well is an anchorite, easy to throw in a stone. If it should sink to the bottom, however, tell me who will bring it out again. Guard against injuring the anchorite. If you have done so, however, well then kill him also. So the anchorite meaning, I'm just gonna look it up once more. Anchorite definition. A religious recluse. Yeah. Like a person who lives alone and who thinks alone, but who still has spirit. Like a deep well is an anchorite. So, people living alone and thinking alone, if you sort of throw in a stone, metaphorically speaking, sort of throw in an idea, to sort of attack them in a way, and you're successful in it, if you should sink to the bottom. However, tell me then, who will bring it out again? Yeah. Guard against injuring the anchorite. But, and this is interesting, if you have ever done so, however, well then, kill him also. A dead anchorite is better than an injured anchorite. If you throw a stone to an anchorite and it sinks to the bottom, that is such a dreadful sin that you might as well kill him. So that is like torture to him then? I sort of feel like I get what he's saying here. I'm not sure I understand that it can be bad, but I don't really understand how it... I can't really imagine that killing him would be better. I don't know. I will move on. Yeah, it's an interesting discourse. Number 20. Child and marriage. I have a question for thee alone, my brother. Like a sounding lead, cast I this question into thy soul, that I might know its depth. Thou art young and desire a child and marriage, but I ask thee, art thou a man entitled to desire a child? Art thou the victorious one, the self-conqueror, the ruler of thy passions, the master of thy virtues? Thus do I ask thee. Or doth the animal speak in thy wish and necessity, or isolation, or discord in thee? I would have thy victory and freedom long for a child. Living monuments shalt thou build to thy victory and emancipation. Beyond thyself shalt thou build, but first of all must thou build thyself rectangular in body and soul. Not only onward shalt thou propagate thyself, but upward. For that purpose may the garden of marriage help thee. A higher body shalt thou create, a first movement, a spontaneously rolling wheel, a creating one shalt thou create. Marriage, so call I the will of the twain to create the one that is more than those who created it. The reverence for one another, as those exercising such a will, I call marriage. Let this be the significance and the truth of thy marriage. But that which the many to many call marriage, those who preference once, what shall I call it? The poverty of soul in the twain. The filth of soul in the twain. The pitiable self-complacency in the twain. Marriage they call it, and they say their marriages are made in heaven. Well, I do not like it. That heaven of the superfluous. No, I do not like them. Those animals tangle in heavenly toils. Far from me also be the God who limpeth thither to bless what he hath not matched. Laugh not at such marriages. What child hath not had reason to weep over its parents? Worthy did this man seem, and ripe for the meaning of the earth. But when I saw his wife, the earth seemed to me a home for madcaps. Yea, I would that the earth shook with convulsions when a saint and a goose mate with one another. This one went forth in quest of truth as a hero, and at last got for himself a small decked-up lie. His marriage, he called it. That one was reversed in intercourse and chose choicely. But one time he spoiled his company for all time. His marriage, he called it. Another sought a handmaid with the virtue of an angel, but all at once he became the handmaid of a woman, and now would he need also to become an angel. Careful, have I found all buyers, and all of them have astute eyes, but even the astutest of them biased his wife in a sack. Many short follies, that is called love by you, and your marriage putted an end to many short follies, with one long stupidity. Your love to woman, and woman's love to man, ah, would that it were sympathy for suffering and veiled deities, but generally two animals alight on one another. But even your best love is only an enraptured simile and a painful ardor. It is a torch to light you to loftier paths. Beyond yourselves shall you love some day, then learn first of all to love. And on that account you have to drink the bitter cup of your love. Bitterness is in the cup even of the best love, thus doth it cause longing for the Superman, thus doth it cause thirst in thee, the creating one. Thirst in the creating one, arrow and longing for the Superman. Tell me, my brother, is this thy will to marriage? Holy call I such a will and such a marriage. Thus spake Zarathustra. So here we have more. A little bit, well, we have child and marriage. Ooh, and I remember all these first quotes. They were also in the Will Durant video, which you can find on YouTube. And it's like, yeah, it's basically Will Durant wrote in like 1935 or something like that on Nietzsche. And he sort of summarized many Nietzsche quotes into a section because he wrote on, I think he wrote on all philosophers, and he included, I think, yeah, the first part of this discourse, except that the translation that he used were much easier, I thought, to understand. And every time I read a quote that I have heard before in a different translation, in the usually the one that Will Durant uses, then I like the Will Durant one so much more, and I find it much better and like simpler in a way, but also capturing the meaning much better. So yeah, but what he's saying here is that obviously in society, there is marriage. Two people get together and have a child. But Nietzsche asks, like, are you, as a man, are you actually entitled to desire a child? Because this, in some sense, it should not be your highest goal. Are you the victorious one? Are you the self-conqueror? Are you the ruler of the passions, the master of the virtues? Thus do I ask thee. Or does the animal speak in thy wish and necessity, or isolation, or discord in thee? This is what he wants. I would have thy victory and freedom long for a child. Living monuments shalt thou build to thy victory and emancipation. You should be a warrior, and and a fighter on a mission before you desire a child. Beyond thyself shalt thou build, but first of all must thou build a rectangle but a square. Not only onward shalt thou propagate thyself, but upward. For that purpose may the garden of marriage help thee. Okay, so we have an issue once again with many possible quotes here. Should I quote this one? Yeah. I will quote this one. And this is... I think Nietzsche is he's known for being pro-eugenics. And this quote is basically... Yeah, it's a sentiment in that regard. You should not marry anyone and have a child with anyone, but with a good person, a smart person, a driven person, because genes are important, basically. A higher body shalt thou create, a first movement, a spontaneously rolling wheel, self-running wheel, a creating one shalt thou create. So basically, with the Nietzschean framework, the point of marriage and children is to create higher beings. Obviously, that is in line with the Superman as the ultimate goal. And here he makes sort of he makes fun of the sort of base marriages. So this is the goal. Marriage, so I call the will of the twain, meaning the two, to create the one that is more than those who created it. The reverence for one another, as those exercising such a will, call I marriage. And this was much better worded in the Will Rant episode, I feel. And I searched for this translation, but I don't know which one it was. But even if I'd found it, I mean, this is the Gutenberg version, so I sort of have to read this version anyway. So let this be the significance and the truth of thy marriage, but that which the many to many call marriage, those superfluous ones, what shall I call it? The poverty of soul in the twain, the filth of the soul in the twain, the pitiable safe complacently in the twain. Nietzsche don't like that sort of basic people have get together and create more basic humans. They are superfluous. It is not in line with Nietzschean morality. Marriage, they call it, and they say, a marriage is made in heaven. Well, I do not like it. That heaven of the superfluous. No, I do not like them. Those animals tangle in the heavenly toils. I'm gonna look up toils. Well, doesn't that mean like works? To toil is the work, right? So toils just means like the products of the working. Toils definition. Well, to toil means to sort of... It means to work. Toil away means to sort of slave away in a way. No, I know what it means. I don't actually need to... Yeah, so I know what it means. Those animals tangle in the heavenly toils. Far from me also be the God who limpeth thither to bless what he hath not matched. I think I looked up this word thither before. Yeah, it means to or towards that place, okay. to limpet, to bless what he had not much. Yeah, basically, I'm not sure. Laugh not at such marriages. What child hath not had a reason to weep over his parents? Worthy did this man seem, and ripe for the meaning of the earth, but when I saw his wife, the earth seemed to me at home for madcaps. That's not a word being used. Assuming something negative. Madcap definition. So it just means insanity. An eccentric or reckless person. Okay. Yeah, I would that the earth shook with convulsions when a saint and a goose met with one another. This one went forth in quest of truth as a hero, and at last got for himself a small decked up lie. His marriage, he called it. I mean, there is definitely, when two people get together, there's definitely a lot of sort of goodwill that goes into it, and there's sort of a rationalization of the other person, because in some sense you want it to work, so therefore you just sort of basically okay it, even though there are many signs that you could notice about your partner, which should signify that it might not be a good idea or whatever, but you sort of choose to ignore it because you just want it to work. You don't want to go over the process once again and having to find another one or whatever. And here he talks about a lot about marriages, and I think he wrote this in like 1880 or something. And the culture now is that there are many relationships and few marriages, obviously. So you could almost, I think you could say that by today's standards, you can just call it a relationship. Well, in some sense. That one was reversed in intercourse and chose choicely. But one time he spoiled his company for all time. His marriage, he called it. Another sought a handmaid. What's a handmaid? Handmaid definition. Oh, okay, female servant. Okay. But all at once he became the handmaid of a woman, and now would he needed also to become an angel. I think today you just call it simp, basically. Simping for a woman. There's all this talk about, Careful have I found all buyers, and all of them have astute eyes, but even the astutest of them buys his wife in a sack. Yeah, that's a quote we will definitely quote. Ooh. I mean, should I quote more here? These are very fun, I think. Oh, I just feel so spaced out right now. Like I just don't have enough energy. I need to eat something, I think. I've only read 2 discourses. Oh, and it's so short. Oh my god. I sort of feel like in the beginning I had a sort of better grasp of the overall meaning of what he was talking about. Now I feel like I need to understand them more from like yeah, I just need to get to understand them from a more ignorant perspective. Okay, where was I? Oh, I don't think I can continue right now actually. I have dispersed all my energy. I wrote a very long. First, I worked for like. I didn't actually work that hard today, but I was a bit tired, you know. First, I work. Then I come home and I wrote this long answer in Reddit, which by the way nobody seemed to care about. Then I also wrote a long email to a friend of mine. And now I'm trying to read and understand everything. It's like I can't do it. Oh, I'm so tired. Okay, I'll just try to finish this. Love to woman and woman's love to man. Ah, would that there were sympathy for suffering and veiled deities, but generally to animals alight on one another. Love between two people aren't. That's not a great thing, according to Nietzsche. He would rather relax sympathy for suffering and veiled deities. But generally, two animals alight on one another, meaning that. Yeah, just meaning two people get off on one another. But the inner best love is only an enraptured simile and a painful ardor. Oh, what does ardor mean? I think I recognize it when I see it. Yeah. Great enthusiasm or passion. That's it, right? I know it now. Enraptured. Doesn't that mean like worked up or something? I'm so tired of enraptured definition. Give intense pleasure or joy to. Okay. Ooh. Enraptured. We're learning something every day. So even your best love is only an intense feeling of a metaphor and a painful enthusiasm. I can't do it right now. Okay. Beyond yourself shall ye love someday. Then learn, first of all, to love. On that account ye had to drink the bitter cup of your love. Ooh. Yeah, I don't understand it. Bitterness is in the cup even of the best love. Thus does it cause longing for the Superman. Thus does it cause thirst in thee, the creating one. Ooh. I can't think right now. Okay, but it's basically saying that, your will should be toward great things and great hopes. And everything that he has talked about before, of course. Don't find your wife and be satisfied. If you are a man of great passions and great capabilities, don't settle for a wife, okay? You must love your destiny. You should find your highest hope and all these things. That is your purpose as a great individual. Do not be happy in love with a woman. That is not the purpose of life, okay? That is what he's saying here. Let this be the sacrifice and the truth of marriage. But that which meant to many people. Okay. This is the goal, okay? Don't be a little bitch about it. Find the greatest virtue. Just be great, okay? That is the point here. And you must understand this. And if you are a superfluous one, then you can be happy in your love. And just accept that that is your destiny. Everyone longing for the Superman. Tell me, my brother, is this thy will to marriage? Is it? It should be. Holy call as such a will and such a marriage. Exactly, that is the new things which should be holy, okay? Regular marriages are not made in heaven. Or if they are, that kind of heaven is not the ideal. Nietzschean morality is superior. And you have to read the whole text and you have to understand it and appreciate it. And it's like everything. You must go down and be a gondower, and you. It's like. I teach you the Superman. Man is something that is to be surpassed. What have you done to surpass man? This is the ultimate ideal. This is the ultimate virtue. The Superman is the meaning of the earth. Let your will say, the Superman shall be the meaning of the earth. Do you understand? Can you understand this fucking text? Remain true to the earth and believe not those who speak unto you of super earthly hopes. Poisoners are they, whether they know it or not. Despisers of life are they, decaying ones and poisoned ones themselves, on whom the earth is weary. So away with them. and away with all the weaklings and all the superfluous ones. Can you just not understand that this is a greater thing than all this collectivist and egalitarian, all this nonsense and all this down-looking? Can you like understand what he's trying to convey here? Sacrifice yourself to the earth, that the earth. Oh, the Superman may hereafter arrive. That is the point here, you know. I am a herald of the lightning, and heavy drop out of the cloud. The lightning, however, is the Superman. It is time for man to fix his god. It is time for man to plant the germ of his highest hope. And by the way, there cometh the time when man will no longer launch the arrow of his longing beyond man. And the string of his bow will have unlearned to whiz, okay? We are on the path towards this. So if you have chaos in you, you can give birth to a dancing star. And he's telling you that you do in fact have chaos in you. Let's not reach this, and let's not come to the last man. We have not discovered happiness. And being distrustful is healthy. It is not sinful. No shepherd and one herd. Everyone wanted the same. Everyone is equal. He who hath other sentiment goeth voluntarily into the madhouse. This is where we are going, okay? This is a destiny when nobody wants to be awesome anymore. Let's not get here. So you have the rope dancer. He's trying to cross the ropes. He's trying to go over the abyss. But he is there's come this buffoon who tries to mock him, and he falls. Thou hast made danger thy calling, therein there is nothing contemptible. No, thou perishest by thy calling, therefore will I bury thee with my own hands. It is a beautiful thing. Okay, so do you get it or don't you get it? Can you understand? Can you understand? Can you understand? Can you see? The rainbow and the bridges of the Superman. and warriors. Your highest thought, however, shall be it commanded not even me, and it is this. Man is something that is to be surpassed, so live your life of obedience and of war. What manner about long life, what warrior wishes to be spared? Even Zarathustra himself does not spare us, he slayeth us, because he loves us. And he loves us from the very heart. His brethren in war, exactly. Yeah, it's so good, it's so good, it is so good. It is the ideal. It is better than any ideal I have ever come across anywhere. And when you goest to woman, do not forget thy whip. Whip the woman. And he bites the fucking Zarathustra, but he's not rich enough to present his poison to Zarathustra. He's too small. I don't understand everything exactly, but I feel so much. So I will end the stream here. I can't speak anymore about all these things. I mean, tomorrow I have to finish this because it is going slow right now. But at least I'm doing something, you know. At least I'm reading, learning. I'm happy with that in some sense. Usually I just gamble and I just play games and I just sleep 6 hours at night. But this past week I have actually read on stream and I have pushed myself to read and I have enjoyed my reading. And I have come to more realizations by reading and by streaming. It is different to read out loud than to read inside you. It is definitely different. I feel that it is more difficult to understand it, but I also feel that when I'm able to talk about it, I sort of cement my understanding of it much better. So it is all good, even if nobody cares and nobody else cares, and even if nobody are watching. It is all good for me. So, thank you. If you are watching this, please leave a comment. Please like. Everyone who sort of feel something towards me. Maybe they feel. Maybe they can see something of themselves in me, maybe, or what I'm doing, and anything like that. And please don't hesitate to write to me. Okay, so I mean I'll just end it here. I've said that for like 5 or 10 minutes probably. So I'll just clip